Hey, what's up, everybody?
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Wow. Well, we got a hefty show for you today because we got some major stuff to get into. So apparently, all the information we've been hearing about Black Jesus himself might have actually been true,
Yep.
and because it's true, it might be a problem. Hold 1 second. So we have a problem, y'all. Mr. Barack Obama, but Mr. Barack Barry Soetoro has been implicated in the Russia Gate hoax that was perpetrated on the American public in 2015 and 16. Per Miss Tulsi Gabbard, right? So we're going to listen to Miss Tulsi Gabbard divulge what's going to happen, and we're going to show that she is right, and we were told about this not from anybody Republican. Okay, the Republicans weren't the one to give this information first. So here you go. Tell us, Tulsi.
Multiple intelligence community assessments released in the months leading up to the November 2016 election concluded that Russia had neither the intent nor capability to impact the outcome of the U.S. election. On December 5th,
we've been listening there to the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, continuing on what has now been a multi-day effort, not only with public statements like this, but release of documents to attempt.
The documents are just an attempt. Oh,
is that what they're calling it now?
An attempt. Okay.
Back up quite.
You notice how CNN just said, they don't need to hear this. The American people don't need to hear this.
Yeah, it's an attempt.
Yeah, this is the deception that's been a problem with the mainstream media. You have an elected or an appointed official up there spilling the beans about a crooked president, Barry Soetoro, and then they cut her off so the people that are watching CNN don't get the tea.
Ain't that funny? I want to hear what the attempt they say now. Let's see what they say.
Yeah. Extreme allegation that President Obama is guilty of treason and that he worked in some sort of conspiracy with Hillary Clinton, etc. In the assessment by the intelligence community at the time that Russia interfered in the 2016 election.
And who was the intelligence community at the time? Brendan and Comey?
Speaking of which, Jay Lee, I'm glad you said that. I'm so glad you said that. Let's hear what they had to say. Now, remember now, it was all deflection, and she's trying to implicate, and it's all hearsay, and she don't know what she be saying. But hear me out, people. What if the same people that y'all saying didn't do it admitted to doing it? What if?
What? Yeah, like what if? What would we say? What would you guys say?
What would you say? Let's find out. Let's take a listen.
For President Obama, we might not have done the intelligence community assessment that we did that set off a whole sequence of events which are still unfolding today. President Obama is responsible for that, and it was he who tasked us to do that intelligence community assessment in the first place. It was he who tasked us to do that intelligence community assessment for President Obama.
So hold on. That's Clapper, if I correct, right? That's Clapper. Clap off the Clapper. Okay, now the clap. He got the clap. He said that it was Obama that initiated the whole thing that led to the Russia thing. But when Tulsi said it's deflecting. Am I hearing that right? When Tulsi says it, it's a problem. When he says it, it's a good thing that they were looking into it to get that done.
I smell double standards.
That's kind of interesting, Clapper. It's a wee bit. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to give Tulsi time to clarify what she was going to say before CNN so rudely interrupted her. Okay?
Yes.
Let her continue.
and released spells out in great detail what happens when you have some of the most powerful people in our country, directly leading at the helm, President Obama, Security Cabinet, James Comey, John Brennan, and Susan Rice and others, essentially making a very intentional decision to create this of intelligence with the objective of subverting the American people, who in November of 2016 delivered a historic victory to President Trump, defeating Hillary Clinton. Their goal was to essentially not accept the decision of people and to use this manufactured, politicized intelligence as a means to enact what would become essential against President Trump.
I don't know why she's cutting out, but she said a coup.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, listen carefully. If this does go forward to criminal charges, this will be the very first time outside of Nixon, where you can literally have, and that, well, Nixon was going under for something completely different than this. This would be the first time that a former president would be charged with trying to keep another president from taking office.
Mm-hmm.
Intentionally.
Interesting.
That would be huge, especially if there is implication that they try to do it again in 2020. Now think about this. If he goes to trial for 2016 and Hillary's implicated in it, and then you fast forward to 2020 and you have the same issue that caused everything to kick off, and then you have 2024 with more of the same, you might see more than Obama going to jail.
Oh yeah, it'd be glorious. But even in 2016, all that time all we heard was Russia. 17 intelligence, 16, however many numbers, all this Russia. Russia stole the election. Russia interfered with the election. And us with normal brains was asking ourselves, like, well, how did they interfere? Because the people voted. So how did they change the votes?
Therein lies the question, eh?
Yeah, they didn't change anything.
That's what they say.
Now here's a question. This is a bigger question to your point, Mike. If this comes down to a situation where the interference that they talked about isn't on the ballot side for 2016, but on the influence peddling side for 2016, then it didn't work. But remember, they didn't think that they needed to interfere very much in 16 because they generally thought that Hillary was going to win. They amped it up to where they decided to act a lot differently in 2020 because 2016 did not work the way they wanted it to. 2016, they thought by just manipulating the information, that would be enough. They failed there. They tackled information and the box in 2020. Yep. If that gets to be investigated finally, because remember, we haven't had a court case go forward with 2020 yet.
Right.
If that comes down to where that shows up, oh, hell.
Oh, and I believe it will, because you remember that infamous night where Biden gained like how many votes, 2 million or something. I forget how many votes he gained in the dead of night. So eventually they're going to go back and look at that. They're going to be like, if this is true about 2016 and Trump still won, and they really didn't want him to win in 2020, as you stated, Marlon, what else can we do? So they're actually going to have to go back and dig deep and see if it was interference. And all this time when Trump didn't concede, he was right for not conceding, saying that the election was stolen. He was right with saying that the election was stolen. And then everything else that added up to it, all the freaking, taking him into court, all the false allegations, all that stuff. You got to think of everything. It's just going to all be added in that. And I can see heads spinning and a lot of people going down for this. And it's going to be glorious.
It'll be very interesting because she was also asked about treason. Okay.
Mr. Gabbard, thank you. So just two questions to begin on that. The president yesterday, you've inferred that the former president helped lead a coup. Based on what you now see, do you believe President Obama is guilty of treason?
I'm leaving the criminal charges to the Department of Justice. I'm not an attorney, but as I've said previously, when you look at the intent, behind creating a fake manufactured intelligence document that directly contradicts multiple assessments that were created by the intelligence community, the expressed intent and what followed afterward can only be described as a years-long coup and a treasonous conspiracy against the American people, our republic, and an attempt to undermine President Trump's administration.
The Senate Intelligence Committee spent several years looking into this and unanimously agreed in a bipartisan fashion, Secretary of State Rubio was a member of that committee, that there was no political interference. There was a years-long Justice Department investigation into this as well that also concluded no political interference. So help us from a 50,000-foot level explain, what do you now have that refutes those two?
Sure, I will encourage you, in my role as the Director of National Intelligence, my job, again, as I said when I came into this role, was to make sure that we are telling the truth to the American people and that we are ensuring that the intelligence community is not being politicized. So I'm not asking you to take my word for it. I'm asking you in the media to conduct honest journalism and the American people to see for yourself in the documents that we've released now, close to 200 pages, that point in multiple references, multiple examples, to include comments that have been made by senior intelligence professionals who are some still working within these agencies today that confirm the conclusions that we have drawn, that President Obama directed an intelligence community assessment to be created to further this contrived false narrative that ultimately led to a years-long coup to try to undermine President Trump's presidency.
Now, what I appreciate about this is that she is not trying to overstep what her role is.
Right. That part, yeah.
By trying to give you an answer that does not belong in her wheelhouse. That is some good stuff. That's some good stuff. I will give her credit for that. Now, as for people trying to say she's deflecting from the Epstein thing, you do realize people can do two things at once? You do realize you can have a thing called multitasking, where I can actually focus on the Epstein and focus on Obama being a treasonous piece of crap too, right? You do realize that's possible? We can handle multiple bits of information. That's kind of weird. I know it's weird for the left to understand this, but we can. It's not a deflection if Epstein is still being seen. I don't see how this is a deflection. But then again, you guys are not the most notoriously known for being intelligent. Let's just be honest about something here. You guys aren't branded smart. Okay?
Not at all.
Not at all. So this is what I'm thinking is Blackburn, right? Is who this is? Marsha Blackburn? Yeah.
That's right. Now we do know. And thank goodness that DNI Gabbard released 100 documents so that people can see, here's the proof. This is what they were doing. They knew Hillary was creating this dossier. So then they go in and Obama's team is all informed. And then they start to create a diversion and they try to make it about Trump. Here is what we know. The bureaucracy and the swamp has got to be drained. These people that are careers over at the FBI and the DOJ that have participated in this need to be shown the door. There are prosecutions that should take place.
I agree.
This is weaponizing the federal government against a citizen, against a political opponent, because the American people are not doing what you want them to do. This is the kind of thing that we thought was going on. We had pretty good ideas it was going on, some pretty good anecdotal evidence that was happening. And now they have shown the receipts. Let the prosecutions begin.
Agree. But will it?
Yep.
That's a whole other thing.
A whole other
thing. Because you have the definition here, okay? Treason, the offense of attempting by overt acts to overthrow the government of the state to which the offender owes allegiance, or to kill or personally injure the sovereign or the sovereign's family. Ironically, this actually fits twice. This fits in 2024 with the Pennsylvania issue.
Yep.
Okay. And then it also fits in 2016 and 2020 with both elections. So if you want to, we can actually hold the entire party as treasonous. Technically, there should be multiple gallows set up.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
I'm just saying that there should be, I'm not going to say the word, but there should be multiple gallows. Somewhere in the region of 30 to 75.
I agree.
Now, will that happen publicly? What?
And now, what do you think will happen with the Democratic Party if, all of this comes out and he's put on trial and he's deemed guilty for treason at Obama? What do you think will happen to that party? Do you think it would be the same? Would it go away? What would it turn into?
It might be a whole new thing. It'll end up, I think that'll give place to the Socialist Party.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Yeah. Now, do you think it's just Democrats?
No, but it'll still give way to the Socialist Party.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely will. I think what will end up happening is that you see the Democrat Party implode and the rhinos implode, and you'll find out that there will still be a two-party system, but it may end up being more of a MAGA Republican group and a communist Democrat group. That's what you'll end up seeing. And if you pick if you pick the communist side, you're done. America is done. We're over.
Yep.
If they ever win, it's over. Not even like partially over. It is done. There will be no recovery for America after that point.
Yeah.
Zippo. So in a lot of ways, but I don't think anything will come of that. Because I don't think any heads will roll. I think this is great that we hear about it, but let's just be honest. Can we be honest with people right now? We'll be honest. A lot of the things that we hear that are coming to the surface and to light will only be there just to hear about it. And that's the unfortunate reality, is that we're going to best keep hearing that this is guilty and that one's guilty of doing something. We have proof that they do it, and then the penalty for them doing it is very severe, but you'll never hear them of even going to court to get even halfway through that issue. So that's me. Do you think this has anything to do with why Johnson is calling for an early August break for Congress? I don't know. I doubt it. I would think he'd want to extend it instead of calling it early, so that you can indeed do something. But I don't trust Johnson to do that either. The same way he thinks that Ghislaine Maxwell should testify, but I don't think that'll happen either. There are tons of things that I think should happen, we believe should happen, but it won't, because it will. Let's be honest, it will collapse the system. The current way things are running right now, if we were to change America the way it is, will be gone. Now it will be gone for the benefit because the American people will profit from it, but I think we would have an adjustment period of about 5-6 years in there where we have to reestablish our footing. And for doing that, we would have to shut down all of the external interaction we have with other countries for about 5 years to make it work.
At least.
Yeah. Getting rid of international treaties and all that stuff to revamp the America as we know it is what it'll take. And that would mean shutting down the borders for all travel coming in. We don't have any paperwork to deal with international people. You wait your 5-10 years before you can come in until we figure this stuff out. We reevaluate immigration, we reevaluate economy, we reevaluate government structure. All of it has to be redone. If the Epstein, the corruption, the deep state, if all of that goes away, America will have to be revamped, like completely revamped.
If I think if nothing happens, and with Epstein and this and these elitists are just getting away with all these crimes, it's really going to disrupt how Americans operate when it comes to the law. Yeah, because people are starting to wake up to the two-tier justice system. They'll be like, wow, you arrested little old ladies for ballot harvesting, not too long ago, but these people are actually trying to destroy a whole presidency through a coup. and they walk free. They just get to walk off and nothing happens to them. And they're still on TV. They're still signing books. But little old Mrs. Ray Ray over here gets arrested for meddling with ballots. So they're going to have to do something. Something has to happen, man, because people are sick and tired of this, man. These elitists and these people are on TV and they're getting away with all this stuff. Americans are out here struggling and trying to pay their bills, trying to put food on the table, while these elitists are making money, millions and millions of dollars sitting on their butt while breaking the law at the same time. But you got somebody that could barely pay child support. You're throwing him in jail because he can't keep up on that stuff. So something's got to change.
Well,
or it's going to be a real revolution, and they're not going to like it.
See, the problem though is that while all that stuff I agree with, the only hiccup to all of that happening is the left. They want to continue the current system because they think they'll benefit from it when they're the ones that are going to be the ones who are expendable. Because most times when you're a socialist government and you're leaning that way, the allies tend to be the first to go. And then they're also going to be the ones to try and do that influx of immigration to try and change the demographics so that they hold power. And so it's the power game. So while all that on principle I agree with, we have to get rid of, or at least minimize, the hold the left has on the government and the culture.
Yeah, I agree.
Now, don't forget, this whole thing came out and it led up to the Steele dossier and a statement saying that there was actual film of him being on tape with the PP tapes and all. They said that they had in hand all this information. That's what we were told, right? And we were told that it was provable, identifiable things. With that being said, how could that be true and still not have it produced to the public, but you tell us that we need to be transparent? There are so many things. So this is what the Steele dossier was, right? This is it here. Okay, so let's zoom in a little bit here. Okay, this says the Russian regime, it says U.S. political election Republican candidate Donald Trump's activities in Russia and compromising relationship with the Kremlin. Russian regime has been cultivating, supporting, and assisting Trump for at least 5 years. Aim endorsed by Putin has been to encourage splits and division in Western alliance. So far, Trump has declined various sweetener deals, estate business deals, offered him in Russia in order to further the Kremlin's cultivation of him. However, he has his inner circle have accepted a regular flow of intelligence from the Kremlin, including on his Democratic and other political rivals.
Why is this reading like a fan fiction?
A dossier of compromising material on Hillary Clinton has been collected by the Russian intelligence services over many years. So if it's many years, how did he start it?
Exactly.
Trump wasn't running until 15. So if it's for many years that this has been collected, how was Trump at the helm of it? So you're trying to tell me for years Trump has been planning when we didn't even know Hillary Clinton was running for president? Explain this to me. We didn't know Hillary was running for president until 15. So now you're telling me for many years, this is what you say, right? This is what it says. A dossier of compromising material on Hillary Clinton has been collated by Russian intelligence services over many years and mainly comprises bugged conversations she has had on visits to Russia and intercepted phone calls rather than any embarrassing conduct. The dossier is controlled by Kremlin spokesman Peskov directly on Putin's orders. However, it has not yet been distributed abroad, including to Trump. Russian intentions for its deployment still unclear. So again, if that's your basis for the page, how did Trump have a say over something that nobody knew who was running at the time? Did we know Hillary was running before 16? Before 15? No. Hell, did we even know that Hillary was going to be the nominee? No. You had a bunch of people that were going to run. Bernie was running. Why didn't they do anything with Bernie?
Yep.
Okay. So now you're expecting me to believe, just on the surface, this is how retarded the left is, okay? And some people on the right. This is how stupid you people have to be to believe that this had any merit. On the first page, it's telling you for years, Russia was investigating Hillary. But you want me to believe that they knew Hillary was going to be put as the ticket runner on the Democrat ticket, and Trump, when running in 15, would know that ahead of time from 13, 14, and 15, and was working with Russia to know that Hillary was going to be the nominee. So how did they know that? Explain that to me. Y'all are the most slow, incompetent, moronic, amoeba-like, brain-dead, stupid people I've ever met. Like you are the walking definition of a retard. Special needs people are insulted by you. That there are people who are lobotomized that feel insulted by being associated with your level of lack of intelligence.
Helen Keller would be
absolutely
insulted.
Floored. Absolutely. Like, come on.
And the fact that this was released by BuzzFeed of all organizations, BuzzFeed is the one that released this to people. And then people believe BuzzFeed.
Yeah, and that's the funny thing. People actually believe this was real. And no matter how many times the people on the right were kind of like hearing this, we're like, there's no freaking way. This can't be real. But the left was pushing it. They kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And people believed it. And people will still say that it happened. To this day, you'll have some freaking monkeys out there talking about, oh, he colluded with Russia. He colluded with Russia. No matter what they show you, no matter what Tulsi shows you, no matter what evidence comes out, just like J6, they're still going to believe that he colluded with Russia. Doesn't matter what you tell them.
Well, in fact, that we're all on Obama's neck because he's the one that orchestrated this all to take place, according to what Tulsi Gabbard just relayed to us.
That is insane to me, man. Like, really, it's insane to me. Okay, here's another part of the page. Watch this one. This one's even better. This one proves even more that you guys are morons. In terms of specifics, Source A confided that the Kremlin had been feeding Trump and his team valuable but on the first page you just said that he didn't get it. Let me show you. Watch. Okay, let's put it again. Okay, here it is. However, it has not been distributed abroad, including to Trump. Compromising material on Clinton, but it hasn't been given to Trump. Very next page. The very next page. Item specifics. Source A confided that the Kremlin has been feeding Trump and his team valuable intelligence on his opponents, including Democratic presidential candidate Hillary Clinton, for several years. What? You just admitted on the first opening page. This is how stupid you remedial monkeys are. You just admitted they never gave Trump. You just said that. And on the very next page, you say they did.
Okay.
You people are the most base level stupid there is. You have to be this stupid. The mere fact that a homosexual could pass this off to you with his man wife and you buy it tells me everything I need to know.
You know, these people are so dumb, but their base is a reflection of them. We always say that. So if you read this, and then look at their base of the people that believe that, we know why they're stupid. Because of who they follow and who they listen to.
That is insane.
It's crazy.
Like the thing, it literally says it right here. And then this was confirmed by Source D, a close associate of Trump, who had organized and managed his trips to Moscow. But you had told us originally that they never handed off that information, per your source. Then now you say the Kremlin's cultivation operation on Trump also had compromise, offering him various lucrative real estate development business deals in Russia. And also you said on the first page that he didn't take it. But now you're saying he did.
Can we make up our minds, please?
And right after you said it, you said now at the end, however, so far, for reasons unknown, Trump has not taken up any of these. What?
So was he colluding with Russia or was he not colluding with Russia?
Yes.
Bro, they don't even know.
Yes.
Oh,
look.
Purple.
2013 was when this started to happen. 13.
Well, in conjunction with Hillary running for president is when all this
But she wasn't even running in 13.
No, well, she was Secretary of State, right?
Yeah, but she wasn't running for president.
Yeah.
No. So,
and when did Trump
announced
in 2015?
15.
I'm confused.
Oh, trust me, I can see why.
So pretty much they're talking this started in 2013. They're talking about things he did as a businessman, if it was real. As a businessman, if he did all of that.
Wait, so
because he didn't even announce anything to 2015.
So wouldn't 2013 Trump's involvement in this be called pre-collusion? Like pre-crime, pre-collusion?
We might as well call Tom Cruise. Call Tom Cruise. Let's get a minority report up in here. We're going to have the pre-crime unit show up, drop them balls down the thing, and we're going to go back in time and arrest you, stupid.
Oh, my God.
Look, just admit it. Okay, admit it. This is your chance to come clean. You people on the left. Just admit it. You are remedial and you will fall for anything because you hate so easily.
Yeah.
Just admit it. Okay. Your feelings matter more than facts, and you don't know how to disassociate yourself from feelings to actually look at something as it is. You can read something counterproductive on one page to the other and still believe the whole document somehow makes sense.
That floors me.
You know, in a real world, regular world, you would be in straitjackets. In the real world, you would be in straitjackets because thinking naturally, that would be insane people's behavior. Like to tell me, okay, you know what? I had this information on my friend from 5 years ago. When did you meet him? Yesterday. You never met him before? No. Did you know he existed? No, but I have information on him from since 5 years ago, since I was investigating him. How? Because that's how dumb you sound. You're trying to convince me that Trump knew that mind you, in 2013, around that time, he was still contributing money to the Democrat plantation.
Yep.
Okay. So in 13, he wasn't running. 13, she wasn't running. Somehow, Russia decided to get information on Hillary before she was a threat and before the person that they were trying to recruit even said he was running for president. You have no documentation outside of business deals for real estate that Trump had any deals in Russia, but yet still you can link the fact that Russia was investigating Hillary because she was running for president, but she wasn't in 13, to Trump running for president when he wasn't in 13, to 15 and 16. You might, I figured it out. The Simpsons did it.
That's true.
The Simpsons did it. This is how the Simpsons get their information from Russia. They're the only ones that can operate in the present, past, and future all at once. That's how the Simpsons did it. They're Russian. The Simpsons are Russians.
That makes sense.
This is mental. Absolutely mental. However, what does that tell you that Barack thinks about his base? He knows they're stupid.
Yep.
Yeah.
And this is why he had that sit down with a little homosexual crew. He knows that these people that follow him are indeed remedial. He's not banking on them investigating anything. He's not banking on them checking, looking into, even isolating parts of their story to see if it's congruous. They won't check. And they know that. So which is why they can put out things that contradict their statements day in and day out, and no one cares.
Right.
Like you say, women's rights, and men don't have any view about it, but you're asking men to pass women's rights. You see how stupid that sounds? Or how about this? Men have no say over it unless a man identifies a woman. Then he can have a say over women's rights, but he's no longer a woman, but he's a woman. That's how stupid you guys are. Because logic is not in your wheelhouse. Look, I understand a ton of people on the right are like that too. We've been encountering way more of those than recently, but golly, come on.
It's not half as bad comparatively speaking.
No, it is not. It is not. This is crazy to me. Just, wow. Anyway. That is different. That's different. So you think he's going to get arrested? That's the question.
They're going to have to, man. You know, they're going to have to do something. And Trump is always talking about going big. You know, so if Trump is going to do something about it, or the DOJ, it has to be big. It has to be somebody big, man. If he doesn't, it's telling us everything we need to know about the judicial system and a two-tier justice system. Tell us everything we need to know, that they can do whatever they want, and us, the peasants, will go down for the most minute things. So he has to do something, man. That Epstein stuff, that was a swing and a miss for him. So he has to give us something. He has to. And I believe this is going to be it. I believe that they're going to get him. And he's had his eye on him. And Trump, he's going to get his revenge, his reckoning. And Hillary too. Don't forget Hillary.
I want somebody's head to roll. I'm sorry, but I do.
Well, somebody's head has to roll. I just don't want it to be some minor scapegoat, though. That's the thing. I don't want some patsy to take the fall for it.
I'm glad you said that. I knew it came across my feed for a reason. I knew it came across my feed for a reason, and I'm going to play it now because it's important. You see?
And while you're looking for that, go after Clapper and Comey first. That's who I would get them first. They're going to chirp like good little birds. They're going to chirp. And if it's coming out of their mouth, saying just like Clapper did right there in that video we watch, they won't have a choice but to get them. But the people has to shock the people, has to shock America. So you have to get people like Clapper and Comey. You have to get them. They point out Hillary. You grab Hillary. She has no place to go. Then she'll say, well, Obama told me to. Okay, now we're going after the big guys. So it's not going to be directly to Obama, I don't think. They're going to have to get the Clappers and the Comeys and all the little peons first to make sure all the stories match up for the American people to see. Now the American people are seeing it. When it happens, they're not going to be like picking sides. They're going to be like, what can we say about this? The news can't even say anything after that.
This is how I anticipated going down. We're gonna dig back into the bag of the George Carlin sort. And this was when he was young, black and white George Carlin.
Okay.
Like black and white George Carlin. And you're gonna hear him say some stuff that is almost like what I think is gonna happen. Okay, it's a different context, but pretty much the exact same outcome. Listen carefully.
Got a document that every American ought to see. This here is a list of 146 outstanding communists in the State Department. Each and every one of these 123 names has been thoroughly investigated by the FBI. We're going to take these 94 guys and throw them in jail where they belong. Oh, 62 of them, believe me. You get a list with 38 names on it like that, and you know how to work with it. We know how to handle these 17 commies. Not one of the 5 of them will get away. And when that guy shows up, he's in trouble, pal.
That's so true.
You see how he just dwindles the number from this mad to just one person gonna fall for it. That's what I fear will happen.
Same.
However, this is in the inverse because we started with one guy, Obama. If we can start with the one guy and grow out to the 100 and something plus, I would love that. Like, you know what? This is the only time I will be okay with releasing. Listen to me carefully. Release all the folks you got in Alligator, Alcatraz, and put them in there instead.
Oh yeah.
I would look. I will be with the left. I'll release all of them. You know what? Why? Because I can always come back and get those people later. These monkeys, I want them in Alligator, Alcatraz, like today.
That's true.
Today.
And we've talked about a couple episodes months ago about a Hunger Games style thing for DC. Do it at Alligator Alley. You live stream it 24/7.
What, man?
And say, okay, you can escape, but you just have to swim across that right there. And then we live stream it and we make bets. We make bets in crypto. So you're allowed to bet in crypto.
No taxes.
No taxes on it. And then if they make it or not,
Even if they make it, you're just making it to delay the inevitable. That's all. But I don't tell you that. I won't tell you. I'll just have you say, no, go ahead, make it across. And as soon as you make it across, still put you out of your misery. Like, for real. Because here's the thing. Here's what the fallout was for. Okay, listen. When you look at what the economy did to people, when you look at what COVID did to people, when you look at all of the outcomes that happened because of what they did, you have to admit one thing. They did this in order to damage the American population.
Yeah.
And they harmed American citizens on purpose while lying to us. There are more lives that got lost because of their behavior than anything else that happened in the last 10 years. That alone should be warrant enough for you to be put to where you need to be put to. Pine box heaven. That's where you should be. That alone should warrant it. Not to mention the other things that happened long before that. This look, when I say I would not be upset if they did that, I would not be. I wouldn't, because that's the law. If you did A, the law says B should be the outcome. For too long, when they do A, they say, well, we'll give them like an A.2 for the outcome and not B. No, I want B. If it's treason, we know what treason brings.
Yep.
Okay. High noon. Okay, cool. You know, grandfather clock. Yes. That's
Dead
what we
man
want.
walking announcement.
That's right.
I want to be the one. I want to be the one shaking the bell. Dead man walking the green mile.
Green mile.
I volunteer for that. I volunteer.
Man, come on. Y'all might think it's violent.
No, but it does need to be something like that, man. Because if that happens, I'm dead serious when it comes to the live stream. We need to watch it. We should be able to watch a live stream 24/7 of them in Alligator Alley. Of them in their suffering, of their trials, of the the verdict, everything, and it doesn't need to be drawn out for the next 3 years. It needs to be swift. They need to make a statement with this, like this will never happen again. So any of you swamp rats that are hiding out, waiting to come up, just know if you do something like this, this is what you get.
Right.
But it can't just be locking them up. It has their assets have to be seized, every single comfort that they have to be repossessed. All of it, to the point where they cannot come back to their former position and do this again. That's the thing. Goodbye to Obama's Obama's ranch in that.
Yep.
Where's it called?
Martha's Vineyard or whatever.
Yeah.
And Big Mike needs to come out and let everybody know that he's Big Mike.
She's a he.
She's a he.
Mike. Guess what day it is? Treason Day.
Shame.
And no, we're not the bad guys when we say this. That's the thing.
Shame, man. Look. It needs to be televised. It does. But I will say this: I'm not holding out hope.
Yeah.
I'm not, simply because I understand how the system functions. It protects itself. And as much of a good intention as you might have, it will, it's like Terminator, it'll protect itself. It is. And so if it does, if it doesn't, I expect it.
Here's what I hope. And I hope it happens soon. There's a total blackout of mainstream everything. Mainstream media, mainstream everything. And the only thing that we get to watch is exactly them scooping these people up, putting them on trial. And that's it. It's for the world to see. That's all you can watch for however many days. And they show video footage of them rounding them up because it has to happen, as you stated. It has to happen. If not, the American people will have no more faith in our government after this.
Nope, they won't. And that's the unfortunate reality of things. It's an unfortunate reality. But we'll see how things turn out. Again, we will have to wait and see. If Trump really is about what he's about, then he needs to be about this. He's already floundered on a few things that are consequential, to say the least. This cannot be one of them. If this one he fumbles too, I fear for what comes after.
Yeah.
So if you're listening, bro, you can't fumble this bag. This is a big bag. This is a huge bag. And you better go through with this to the point where you are 10 toes down and standing in this gap to make sure that this goes to fruition. Even if you take it to the courts to prove the courts are corrupted, but you did your job, at least do that. At least do that. We will not be on Friday. We're going to take that hiatus day since most of us are going to be tied up, but we will be back on a Monday. What topic? Anyone?
Monkey Exposure Monday?
Monkey Exposure.
Oh.
Could be a good one. There are plenty of those going around. We'll contemplate.
Yeah.
Wow, but definitely if charges drop, we might come back to this.
Yeah, and also be on the lookout for people trying to give Obama a pass. You're going to see all those videos. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. That's a lie. So we'll start calling them people out, and hopefully more, like you stated, comes out Monday, so we can make fun of them.
Hey, we
like
have a merch store, right?
Yeah,
we have it's the same one so far. Yes. So make sure you grab some more merch before it goes away to the new stuff. It's gonna take me a while to get that. I've ran into some more snags, so I'll just leave this one up until I fully get it transported over and stuff. So,
and we have some new people following, Marlon. We should put the merch store in the. We do have some
chat.
new people. Yeah. So go to our merch store. I want to see you guys wearing the t-shirts.
To answer, Mr. So-and-so, I'll be going to Salem, Oregon. Salem, Oregon on Friday. Salem. Not going to any witch trials or anything like that, but I know that was in a different state. But you hear Salem, that's what you're thinking. I'm not going to go check out no.
That's what I would go to Salem for.
Yeah, not me. I don't want to go there. I don't want to go, but I gotta go because it's essential for me to go. So, with that being said, we'll catch you guys come Monday. I'll see you guys in the morning for Straight Talk. I got a big one, so we'll see you guys then. Mr. Lee,
like, share, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you Monday.
Peace.
More.